Hey guys.
How you doing, Matt?
Thanks for a great talk yesterday too.
No worries. Didn't feel very good yesterday, but anyway.
Yeah, welcome. As you probably know, I lie awake a lot at night. I'm just wondering if there's spirits involved with that.
The primary reason why you're awake a lot at night is because you're afraid to go to sleep at night. And by the way, how many other people are awake a lot at night? Okay, you're afraid to go to sleep at night. Why? That's a good question. That's the question we need to ask, right? Always the question. Why? 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 So, why am I afraid to go to sleep at night? That's a very important question to ask. Now, logically, there can only be a few reasons why. That events that are happening in the sleep state when I'm asleep freak me out. So something is going on about sleeping that causes me to be afraid. All right? Now, for some people, it's actually that their father or mother have died and passed, and every time they go to sleep, they meet up with their mum and dad, and their mum's controlling, or their father's like an angry man, and they keep on meeting up with them, and so they don't want to meet up with them anymore, so what do instead? Stay awake. That way they can... No, I'm serious. They stay awake and avoid the whole thing. That's often why we do things. So there is always a fear associated with why I don't want to go to sleep. The key is to acknowledge, number one, acknowledge that I have a fear. I must have a fear, otherwise I'd be doing it, right? Fear always prevents action. So I've got a fear, there's a reason why I'm afraid. And then start praying about what would it be. So start developing a longing for God to tell you about what it would be that you're afraid of. And then, if you notice your law of attraction, what books come into your possession during the week, what movies come into your scope during the week, what interactions you have with people during the week, and then ask yourself the question, what might that be related to regarding my not wanting to go to sleep? Because the truth is that when you set your intention to get an answer from God, God will always giving you plenty of answers, usually already, before you even set your intention. But once you set your intention, it's the most powerful thing. When you set your intention for God to answer what's going on within yourself, your law of attraction automatically brings you what's the real reason why. Now, it might be for you, all of a sudden you have some family interactions you didn't have last week. And oh, okay, something's going on here, It could be that you're afraid of looking at yourself in your sleep. Does that make sense? Like simple things like that. And that means that in your awake state, you're afraid of seeing yourself as you truly are. And it could be a very, very simple thing like that that causes you to not want to sleep. So, but allow the law of attraction to bring it to you and be open-minded with regard to what the law of attraction brings to you once you set your intention to know the truth about it. Because when you're open-minded, that allows all of these different things to come to you, and you can start sorting and sifting through them and seeing what it would be about. So all of you who are having trouble with going to sleep, that's my suggestion to you. Now, a lot of times going to sleep is around about fear of the spirits that surround you when you're asleep. And so you need to allow yourself to work your way through what's going on there. And it's an interesting law of attraction in that you're living with a person who's highly mediumistic, who's got a lot of spirits around her all the time. Does that make sense? So that's a part of your law of attraction. That's a part of this whole process of what's going on. And you feel like you have to sleep alone. So there's something in that. Does that make sense? You can't sleep when you're with anyone else, can you? You can only sleep if you're alone. So there's something in that emotion too. That's part of the law of attraction. Does that make sense? Allow yourself to see what that would be. Why am I so afraid of sleeping when another body's right next to me? There's something in that for you emotionally. Allow yourself to feel about, okay, what do I feel like when I'm touched? What do I feel like, if I'm asleep and somebody's touching me, what's that going to feel like? Allow yourself to investigate those things. And you'll come up with the answer pretty rapidly, I think, Matt, once you allow yourself to investigate those things. Yeah?
The key is, Matt, that it's been a long-term issue, hasn't it? And something like for nearly all of your life. So just to be gentle with yourself around it as well, because there's a big reason there.
Yeah, it's just a bit puzzling because...
When did it begin, Matt?
Well, up until I was about 25, I was just awesome. I could go on
Okay,
tour
I
with a
thought it was-
band and sleep on a clothesline,
Right, yeah.
and then it all just changed.
Okay, so there's something that happened when you were 25 as well. That's just a part of this process. So what kind of events happened when you were 25 when you started to not sleep? That's a question you need to ask yourself, because that's a very important part of what you're afraid of in your sleep state. Does that make sense? So look back at that life and ask yourself and pray about what's going on in that period of your life. What was happening in your interactions with women, your interactions with men? What was happening? Because in there will be the secret answer, if you like, to the entire question. Yeah.